Happy Friday! We're back for another crazy, wild, freaky Friday to see just how much trouble we can get into. As you know, we love getting into trouble, so yeah, I'm glad you're here to join us, and I don't know where Alpha went. Alpha Cruz should be here, and just send a message. I don't know if he got lost or what's going down. So Alpha, if you're out there, buddy, man, jump in, because the party has started, and you're supposed to be here helping me. But either way, it's going to be a great time. So first of all, say hi to everybody who's out there. And we got Wild Angel. Says, hi, everybody. Hi, Wild Angel. We made it Friday. Yeah. Hell yeah. It feels good. It's been a crazy week. I don't know about you guys, but man, it is... Everything has been chaotic this week. Absolutely nuts. Yes, Alistair. Alpha is late. Yeah. Yeah. You got some splaining to do, Alpha. Yeah, we had issues with the shed we're building outside. Now I've got to lower it down like 6 inches. I had my computer power supply explode 2 days ago. Literally, I was sitting here in the office, and all of a sudden the lights started flickering. I heard buzzing and sizzling like somebody's frying bacon. And then all of a sudden, poof, computer shuts off. I'm like, what in the hell just happened? So, yeah, that was kind of scary. Wasn't sure if it was the motherboard or what. Turned out it was just power supply, thankfully. It's a lot cheaper than replacing a whole computer. So, today's been a pretty good day, though. I want to hear, how has your week been? You know, what's the best thing that happened to you all week? You know, share it in the chat. That way we can all celebrate with you. So, now tonight's topic is kind of a little bit different. We're going to talk about decentralization, but not just the financial world. See, decentralization goes in everything we do in life. So the question is it a delusion or is it deliverance? Is it going to save us or is it going to lead us into chaos? Kind of depends on what we're talking about and where we're utilizing decentralization. All the way around, is decentralization just a complete delusion? I mean, does it actually work? I don't know. We're going to find that out tonight. But first, as you guys know, I love to share the latest crypto information, what's going on, just so you can stay up to date. Now, I'm going to save the best for last. We're going to bring Mr. Sawakira up here, and we're going to talk about the new all-time high for BTC, because I know a lot of you are really excited about that. Me too. But what does that really mean? Was it unexpected? Or is this just going to be the standard pattern? Well, Sai's going to give us a little bit of insight on that. But first of all, now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that over the last couple of weeks, I've been telling you about the Tari universe. Now, they launched the mainnet. Whoops, I didn't click that button. There we go. They launched the mainnet about 12 days ago. 12, 14 days, something like that. And the whole concept was this was supposed to be able to run on your home computer. Now, the first couple of days it was doing great. I was making XTM, it was going awesome. And then the mining pools popped up. And very quickly, just mining from your home computer simply wasn't doing it anymore. It's like, man, it's not even worth the power bill anymore. So that's when I started diving into mining pools and researching, well, how can I go out and rent some GPUs at a reasonable price and get them up and running? Now, I put out a video 2 days ago talking about how you can do that utilizing Lucky Pool, one of the biggest Tari mining pools out there, and GPUs and CPUs rented from Core AI. So there is that video in the Down Home Crypto channel here. So if you want to know how to do it, a step-by-step process, definitely go check it out. And it says, Friday was the best part, and it's a long weekend. All right, it is a long weekend. You'll have to tell me why, because I have no idea why. I work every day, so I don't know. BTK, my man! How you doing, brother? Good to see you, brother. BTK! Sup, y'all? Sup, my man? Good to see you, brother. So yeah, anyway, on Tari, after a couple days, it just wasn't worth it. So I did go out and create a video figuring it out. Now, I got to tell you, honestly, I am not a coder. Didn't know how to do it. So I spent a lot of time with Copilot. And I tried Grok, I tried a couple other AIs, but you know, Copilot worked out pretty well, and that's what I built that guide from. So I think I've got it all up and working good. But if you run any problems, hey, throw them in the Discord, and I will try to help you with it. But please understand, I didn't come up with this code. I let AI come up with code. It works smarter, not harder, right? Well, it actually worked, or seemed to be working. So, but I want to share with you, putting this information out there about Tari is not just about trying to get you involved, trying to hype it up, everything else. In fact, I want to show you that I really am doing this. Currently, I'm running 8 different servers. Each one has between 2 to 4 GPUs. And I'm shopping around for the best deals. I'm not just picking up a 5090. No. Most of mine are like a 4070 Ti, because it's the best bang for the buck. Now, I don't know what it's going to be worth. The official launch of the XTM token, or the official exchange, is supposed to be I had it right here, and I lost it. Trying to check my notes here, guys. Coinex. There we go. Thank you. Coinex is supposed to be the official launch, but these tokens are already listed out on a couple different, very small exchanges, like right here on Expatron. And the XTM token is running at $0.03, 3 cents per token essentially. I mean, they launched it about 2 cents. It dropped to about 1 cent. Now it's up to 0.3. It's kind of hard to say what it's going to be on its official launch. But I did do a little bit more research on this, and I want to let you guys know that there's going to be a total token supply of 21 billion tokens. That's their plan. Now, some of these tokens were pre-mined. There's about 30%, but all of those are on a locked schedule. And it even gives you a full breakdown here in the tokenomics page. So right here, the initial lockup, the shortest one is 180 days. And that's for the protocol infrastructure and grants. 180 days for community, and then contributors, they're locked for the first year. So that's why I kind of like the Tari universe. I don't know if it's going to be profitable. I don't know how well it's going to go. So please don't go out and rent a ton of GPUs saying you're going to get rich. Because I can't guarantee that. I'm doing it with little bits and pieces I get from like my helium miners. I get a little bit of H&T, I sell them, I buy some core, I get some GPUs, and it works out pretty well. But I'm going to give you guys this documentation on the tokenomics. That way you guys can do your own research on that. But so far, I've really been enjoying it. Now I can tell you I'm earning a little over 1,000 XTM tokens per day on the rigs I'm running. And I'm paying about $21 a day to earn that. So not bad, but I can tell you that every day the earnings have dropped almost by 40 to 50% per day. So the hashing rate's going up across the pools. That's making it harder and harder to earn. So hopefully you guys got in on day one, really collected a nice pile of XTM, and you're holding on to it and just waiting for this token to hopefully, we pray, go up, not just crash and burn. But you never know. But if you do want to know more about that, I will put the guide in here. This is the GitHub. And by the way, this is my first GitHub document I ever wrote. So I apologize for the typos. The coding does work. We did run into one problem today when I went on the dependencies. One of them got updated. So I did add this one line of code right here to fix broken install. So now this guide works fine step by step. Now, if you do run into any problems, some of the core servers have an issue. One of them is the CLI. They end up kicking an error, and I've tried to work around it. And honestly, it's like, you know what? It's just not worth it. I just kick that server to the side, give it a 1 star because it's obviously not configured correctly. So if you do have any questions, any problems, definitely reach out to me. Happy to help there. Okay, so anything on the Tari you guys want me to cover before I move on to the next one? So throw it in the chat there and let me know. Dual mining. Oh, there is one thing. I had one thing for you guys because a video was just released, posted in the Discord today on Tari. So I want to play this guy for you real quick, guys. So here you go. Okay, there you go. So May 28th, we're going to be able to bridge wrapped XTM over to any blockchain, it says. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Okay, so no questions came through. Okay, so let's move right along real quick. So next thing, guys, is NodeGo. Now, this was in the video where I showed you how you could onboard 10 crypto projects onto an old PC or things like this. And the wallet verification process has been going for a couple weeks now. And I've been telling you guys about this, but I can tell you it's 95% complete. Once they shut that off, you will not be able to verify your wallets. So if you have been running NodeGo, make sure you go into your reward section here and go make sure that you've completed process to make sure you're eligible for the TGE event. because by the sounds of it, that's coming up pretty quick, and I would hate for anybody to miss out on that. Okay, so next thing. Now, Valley Arcade. Now, Valley Arcade is one that I love because I love video games, obviously. I mean, I keep an arcade in the back of my office here. They just released 2 brand new games. So we've got Mine All Mine and Death by Darkness. Now, I played the Death by Darkness, and it's actually a lot of fun. Literally, you start with a circle of light, and you're running through this vault, and the circle keeps closing. And if it goes dark, you die. So you have to run through, you have to pick up more torches, get through locked doors, find keys. It's definitely interesting. Mine All Mine, I just noticed today. I have not played it yet, but I plan on doing some of this tonight. Find out. Fuse is lit, grab the goods, and get out. So, remember with Valley Arcade, they give you free tickets where you can go in and play for the high score, and those tickets will eventually be worth either crypto or can be traded in for Merc at the location where you're playing these arcades. Because remember, Valley Arcade is built on an actual business model. So, if it's something that you're involved, haven't heard about or want to find out more about, I can tell you they do have the Valley Node, where you can actually own a node, earn tickets through passive income, use those, tickets. Did I say token? Tickets. Use those tickets to compete for high score, and from there earn more. And once the TG event occurs, those tickets will be transformed into the Valley token. So at a 1-to-1 ratio. I did get Johnny to disclose that to me personally. So, it's something you're interested in, and the Valley nodes are on sale. And in fact, they announced for this long weekend, I guess Memorial Day? I don't know. You guys will have to tell me what holiday it is. They have a 2-for-1 sale. So if you do want to get a Valley node and you buy 2 of them, you can actually get a 3rd one for free. And I know that's running through this weekend. So if it's something you're interested in, you want to find out more, I'll put a link in the description here so you can go in, check it out. But either way, playing the games is free. And they're really easy games to learn. They're really hard games to master. I consider myself a pretty avid gamer, and I suck. I'm gonna tell you straight out, I suck. I haven't practiced nearly enough. So, but it is a lot of fun to go in and play. So head to Valley Arcade. That's for the node sale. ValleyArcade.com. Let me back up here. Just click on this button. There we go. ValleyArcade.com. If you want to go and play some free games, have some fun with it. Okay. Any questions there? You guys are also quiet. I see Wild Angel's down there looking. Yeah, she's backstage. I got everybody hiding backstage. Except for Alpha, who's still not here. Alpha. Here or not sure if I have the right mic selected. It seems a little bit soft otherwise. Okay. Just checking the private chat, see if there's anything out there that I missed. Yeah. Alpha, Alpha be late. Alpha be way late. Yeah, Alpha's fired. Oh, dude. Alpha, if you show up, man, you're in trouble. We're going to give you so much ration shit. It's going to be great. Okay, so that takes care of Valley Arcade, and I am still planning on doing a complete AMA with Johnny from Valley Arcade, because I really want to find out more. I personally like it because it has to do with putting video cabinets in these bars, in these different arcade venues, where you can get tickets from your high score and go up to the bar or the merc store or whatever right there at the location, and either get free merc or free drinks or free food, things like that, directly from your gameplay. I think that's a great way to start bridging the gamers into the crypto space without having to deal with crypto wallets. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I think they've got a good potential, but it's going to be a long-term game. It's not going to be one of those invest today and get rich tomorrow, because it is an actual business. So definitely check it out. Play some games, have some fun. Okay, next one, Monster Melters. Now, I told you guys about this last week. This is from ZZ. Yeah, ZZ from Bitfighters. Just launched this. A game is supposed to be coming later, but hey, you can get in, you can mint some monsters, which are free right now, and who knows what they're going to turn into. How it all works, I tried to read the documents, and it doesn't say a whole lot. So it's something for free if you want to do. I've minted several monsters. Kind of fun. Might be worth checking out if you just want to have some fun and you're bored. So go check it out. Okay, and I think that covers all the crypto stuff. I didn't have a whole lot, but it's just kind of keeping you up to date on the little things that have a timestamp you need to pay attention to. Now, of course, there's always the big one that everybody's been talking about. And to help cover that information and to just bring you up to speed, I'm going to bring the man who actually knows what's really going on out there. That's none other Mr. Cyril here. What's up, Cy?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good, my man. How about you, brother?
Doing all right. Staying busy as always, you know.
Unfortunately, yes, I do. Hopefully you're not breaking things like I am.
No, I haven't actually broken anything recently. Knock on wood. We'll see what happens. The weekend is still young.
There's lots of time to get in trouble and break shit. But so yeah, we hit a new all-time high on Bitcoin, and I'm hearing everybody scream about it. And I know you probably want this opportunity to kind of enlighten us and give us a little bit of your wisdom, brother.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nothing I haven't already said, right? Multiple times. But let's take a look again.
Yeah.
So I first showed you guys this drawing of the blue line, right? I showed that to you guys on the Freaky Friday. That was on February 19th, I think. So it was around here. I don't remember the exact date. But anywho, so Bitcoin has basically done that. Exact same thing. And you might notice this at the bottom. I believe I brought it to everybody's attention last week. Maybe. I think.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
Time is a blur. Anywho, the global net liquidity with the offset of 95, right? Basically giving us insight into what Bitcoin was going to kind of do. As you see, it did exactly that. And then it showed, down day. Oop, well, there's your down day. And I bet you after, I don't know, maybe right after Memorial Day, or maybe on Memorial Day, honestly, we'll see it pop back on up again, give us one more new little all-time high, pull back a little bit, kind of range sideways, and then have a pull back, right? We see that right there. But now I'm going to explain to you why that works, right? And why it's been working. Because it didn't used to work. Well, I say this as it continues to still work, but
Let's make a wire out of you.
There we go. Right about here.
Mm-hmm.
So we started printing a crap ton of money right around this region. That was after the COVID crash and when the Federal Reserve started their quantitative easing. And what did we see Bitcoin do? Balloon to crazy new all-time highs. Its last all-time high was not even quite 20K. And then it went all the way up to 64, 65, and then again to 69. Nice. But the reason why you're seeing this is due to a steep rate of adoption, specifically in traditional finance, right? Oops, my line got moved. I'm trying to drag all this around, but I'm trying to reset my chart at the same time back to where I was. 1 second. Anywho, there we go. That's closer.
I say, good. I'm not the only one who broke something now. You broke something too. I feel better now. Okay.
Perfect. There we go. But the reason why this works is due to adoption, right? With the introduction of the Bitcoin ETFs. And I told everybody, and I have screenshot proof of that, and I know you've seen it, Serenity. I told everybody that the moment those ETFs are created, it's going to allow institutional money to invest. Because it's an ETF and it's a speculative asset, it would automatically get added into a lot of these investment management companies' balance sheets, right? It's a natural thing because they're moving so much money, they don't care about the number. They're allocating percentages around. And there's always going to be a percentage of every investment firm and every hedge fund that's allocated to speculative investments, which is what Bitcoin is considered because it is a newer asset class, right? So as a result, it will always follow now what the global net liquidity does, but it takes time for the money to trickle through, and that's why we have the offset of 95 days. For the money to roll all the way through down into the speculative asset part of their investments, right?
Right.
So, but the thing of it is, Bitcoin is a finite supply. whereas global net liquidity is not. We see nations printing currencies all the time, especially recently here in America, right? So what I'm getting at is you cannot pour something that is potentially infinite, printable fiat, right, into something that is finite without causing intense parabolic movement on the chart. Because Bitcoin's supply is fixed, as the global net liquidity continues to increase over the rest of the future, as long as it retains even a speculative rating of its asset class, it will always move up with global net liquidity. Of course, it'll move down with global net liquidity, but it's been anchored now because it's within these ETFs. It's been anchored to be worth a percentage of all of this money. You see how that works?
Yep. It makes sense. So, I mean, does that take away from the possible gambling, like, doing 3Xs and 10X, things like that down the road? I mean, now that it's fixed with the global net liquidity, I mean, doesn't that kind of negate those possibilities, or does it just amplify it?
It's logarithmic because its supply is fixed, right? So as more money is printed, every time the global net liquidity increases, it's going to cause a fixed supply to get that much more expensive, right? So you might see global net liquidity move up 4%, but it's going to have a much more amplified effect on the speculative asset class, such as Bitcoin. So
because of its limited supply.
Because of its limited supply, exactly. It has that finite aspect. So as more money is printed, it takes more and more money to buy that much more Bitcoin. So in addition to the normal aspect of a speculative asset class increasing in price because people are buying it, it's also going to increase in price because it's that much harder to get it. Nobody wants to sell it, which then it moves out of speculative asset class into an entirely different bracket, which opens it up to that much more of a percentage of global net liquidity. Do you see how this goes?
Mm-hmm. I do. I hope everybody else sees how this goes too.
I hope so. And it's why I've been preaching to everybody for the last 2 years I've been here, right, on your channel with you.
Yeah.
You really need to be allocating a percentage that you can afford to treat like a bill of your income into converting fiat, which is rapidly expanding as they print more, thus diluting the valuation of it, right? The value of a dollar in 2019 compared to the value of a dollar now, man, it's dropped what, like 46%, something like that?
Oh yeah, it's stupid. It's like, oh my god, this is such a waste.
Yep, and we've seen, go to the grocery store, you've seen it.
Oh yeah.
It's not that the things are costing more, it's that it just takes that much more money to buy it because they've printed it that much more. And the companies, they're not going to take a cut on their profits. They still have to, pay the suppliers and everything like that, and they have to line their pockets. And that's why
they gotta have some. I mean, come on.
Yep, that's why they buy assets.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, we have been preaching this for the last few years, like I was saying. We had it on Rags to Riches. Since day one, we've talked about exactly what this means and what the future is going to look like. Well, it's coming to fruition. So we knew it was going to come this way. I've been warning you about it, so I hope you've been listening. And anybody who's new here, if you have any questions, man, jump to the Down Home Crypto Discord. We're happy to explain these, or go back and watch the entire season of Freaky Friday. We talked about this every Thursday, every week, religiously, just to make sure you're up to speed. So now we are seeing the fruits of our labor. So, man, I'm excited about it. I think it's great.
Absolutely. Me too.
So, of course, now when we start talking about crypto, one of the big terms a lot of people like to talk about. Oh, first, let me just, before I switch gears, Walden says, thanks for explaining in plain English. Yes, that's one thing we try to do, because a lot of people like talking big words that confuse the hell out of everything. And they're like, wait, what did they say? So yeah, happy to do it, Wild Angel. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
I agree. Entire season of regular, yeah, the entire season we talked about it, guys. Hate yourself every week for being awesome in BTC. Hey, dude, that's it, BTK. You're right. Yeah, give yourself a little reward. It's like, man, you went to work every day this week. You know what? I'm gonna give you a $20 bonus this week in BTC. There you go. Yeah, whatever it is, whatever you can afford, absolutely do it.
Indeed.
Okay. Yes. So let's get this party started because this kind of goes on to the crypto world into the personal world. We're going to merge these two together in tonight's topic. But of course, it's not a party with just two of us. You know, we got to have some pretty ladies to have a party. And I got one hiding backstage. Sup, Wild Angel?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Wild.
Hey, love,
how's it going?
It's going pretty good. My camera looks like I'm super gray. Looks that way to you guys?
A little bit. It looks like the saturation got turned down.
Too many lights.
Okay.
Mm.
Only the
You broke
usual.
That's all right. We'll just pretend you're a vampire of the night.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, that works.
I told him to say blah,
So
blah,
how
blah.
is- Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
You've seen that, right? Hotel Transylvania?
I have kids. Hello.
Okay. Well, I'll just make it short. Just make it short because old man over here to my side. He often doesn't get the references. So
Not to the cartoons.
Nope.
Not to the cartoon movies, huh?
Not all of them. Some of them I do. Some I do. Others I'm like, what in the hell? Yeah, my kids are older than yours, so we have different cartoon experiences, I
Right.
think.
We're with Finding Nemo and Mulan and those versus these newer ones. So.
Yeah.
gotcha.
Oh, and by the way, BTK, we are all so freaking awesome. We need to give ourselves big paydays in BTC.
Yeah. I agree. Now, one of the person I know who's super awesome is Mr. Connor McCool. Crow, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How's everybody?
Crow, what's
Doing
up?
great.
Nice.
You actually turned the light on. It was all dark earlier.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times, the light's not on in here.
That's right.
I only turn on when I come talk with all the hooligans. Hi, hooligans.
Hi, hooligans.
Hey,
You know-
that's me.
Yeah, it's totally you. I find it comical, Crow. You're wearing the exact same shirt of the picture you sent me to put on the new anime thing that Cyril just saw today.
I absolutely am.
Did you just see that, Cyril?
Yes.
It's cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, the previews stopped showing up with the StreamYard links that Serenity sent me. They stopped showing up. Oh, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I guess. So I don't really always check the Discord. I try to, but life gets busy sometimes. So
Right.
yeah, I missed it last
Life
week.
happens. That's totally okay. So, yeah, it was some trying to give a fresh look, and I'm glad Rose approves because if she didn't, I would absolutely delete. It's like, nope. Hey, Rose says no. It's gone out of here because she's got good taste. I trust her.
Yeah, she liked it.
Awesome.
Good.
So now, Crow,
We should
you had
get
an
her on here
interesting.
for- I'm feeling like in the minority here.
What? Sorry, I was reading a DM. I didn't realize you were talking to me.
So we need to get Rose on here because right now I'm really feeling in the minority.
Aw. She is currently assisting Lily with fixing something that she should have started about 5 weeks ago, and we are just now being made aware of. So, yep, some catch-up work is being done, and so at some point a little later, I might have to jet out a little early to tap in and take over.
Yeah, no worries. Absolutely. So, before we jump into next topic, guys, just before the stream started, I got the best piece of news all week. And I'm going to share it with you right here. The Wheel of Time series has been canceled.
Yes!
Gone.
Thank God! Yay!
Thank God.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
It was painful to watch. It really was. I'm one of those people, I would absolutely stick with it just to say I did. So that way when I start ridiculing it, people can't say, well, you didn't even watch it. Yeah, but I read the book, so I know it sucks. I suffered through. There was one episode out of 3 seasons they got mostly right. That was it. The rest, it was so wrong in every way. First episode, killed Uno. He's a star character till the end of the series of the books. Killed him off day 1. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's it. This book sucks. Or this series sucks.
Wow.
Yeah, that
it was bad.
Just started off on the wrong foot.
It did. It did. So, yes, that was a piece of good news I wanted to share with you because I just got this before we went live. So, pretty exciting for me at least. I'm like, okay, I don't have to put up with that, suffer through with it anymore. I can go back to watching good shows. So,
Well, you know, I always
okay,
have a good show recommendation for you anytime you need to pick something up.
What do you got now? Give it to us.
Okay. Oh crap! You just put me on the spot.
I think you did that
Am I
one to
always?
yourself.
I think so.
Well,
You volunteered.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, you know, I know you haven't watched Three Body Problem yet, right? And that was a recommendation I gave you before.
Yes.
So,
What was it? 3 body problem?
yes.
Okay. I want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yep.
I will write that with the Nimona.
Okay, there you go. And you can watch Nimona when you just need a one-off for that evening or something like that, you know?
Perfect. Okay. Fair enough. Did I have to go? I thought there was something else. I'm really confused. Alpha's not here. So the topic tonight is a little interesting. Now, it goes from the crypto world because we talk about decentralization all the time. And we've seen in some of the security aspects where decentralization has been helpful, but it's also been hurtful. It's kind of gone both ways. But then you take that to the next level. You take it to government. You take it to finance. You take it to social aspects about decentralization. Take it on a work crew, like you lead Crow. If you have a decentralized work crew where everyone's a captain, isn't that just chaos? I mean, kind of brings about a lot of questions. Is decentralization really a good thing in this world? What do you guys think?
I think it depends where the decentralization happens. If it is like Crow, if Nashua went totally decentralized, it would totally wreak havoc. But we kind of have a little bit of decentralization in my office at work. Because like what I do is totally separate from everybody else. We kind of do our own thing. And that's okay. So I think it really depends what you're doing and where it's going to impact, whether it's a good thing or not, or it's just sheer chaos.
And that's fair. And, I'm kind of curious, because we talked about BTC, where now it is pretty much paired to the world of liquidity. Does that make it no longer decentralized? How does that classify? Is that now a centralized aspect where everyone's controlling it? Or how's that working?
I think that's a good Cyro question.
Kind of looking his way.
Well, I mean, it's like any asset class. Once it's classified as such, it's a mad dash to grab as much of it as you can, as quickly as you can, before everyone else grabs it. Because once something is registered as an asset class, and people start to realize, hey, it's been around long enough, that means it's not going away. So we should start buying it too as part of the speculative part of our portfolio, right? That's how it happens. It sticks around long enough. It still keeps the eyes of enough people long enough, right? Because ultimately, what is the value of something's worth? What is the value of money, right? It's what someone's willing to pay for it. At the end of the day, what are you willing to pay per Satoshi? Because it's an asset class. It's not a currency. once they declare it an asset class.
Okay, so that just changes the entire spectrum. Now, is the only thing it has to be is around for a long time to hit that level, or is there other factors that have to go into that?
Well, there's a lot of factors that have to go into it, right? How much liquidity is parked there? How easy is it to buy and sell this speculative asset? Is there someone usually waiting to buy it? Is there a lot of orders in, right? How deep is the liquidity? That's what ultimately determines whether or not it stays around, because people believe in it enough to park their fiat in it, right? They would say, I would rather have this than fiat, because fiat is being inflated to nothingness, and this at least is finite, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
it's got to stay around long enough. It's got to have enough liquidity. It's got to be mobile enough, right? People got to be able to snap their fingers and sell it when they need to, in order for it to be considered, an asset that they are willing to start investing more money in, right?
Okay. And so, a lot of people talk about the use. If it doesn't have utility, if it's not really usable or readily usable across lots of platforms, then it really doesn't classify as something that is going to evolve to the next level. It's like, it's a meme, it's whatever. And it's interesting to think about, because we've seen a lot of things like Ethereum, a lot of our layer ones, native tokens, haven't been around as long. Do you think they'll get to that level one day, or do you expect them to just kind of fall away?
Well, again, depends on how long they've been around. Like Ethereum, I honestly don't believe is going to go anywhere, right? As like, it's not going to go away is what I mean. There's enough people involved. There's enough infrastructure built on top of it. There's enough liquidity. Like, it's there, right? Unless some fatal flaw was discovered at some point, it's there. So, it's going to wind up in ETFs and things like that. I mean, they've been filing for like those Sol ETFs and things. They've been trying to get a little bit nutty with it, but that's the way the sentiment with the administration has shifted, right? So a lot of things are happening that wouldn't normally.
Okay. So a lot of these, if we start seeing ETF, that's when we should really be stockpiling, or we should have already hopefully DCA'd in and built up a nice nest. Once these rumors start hitting, that's when things are going to explode.
Well, rumors are just that, right? And that's why there's always the buy the rumor, sell the news. Because how many times did we hear like, oh, such and such company has filed for a Bitcoin ETF? And then how many times did it turn around and get rejected, right? So, but anywho, to bring it all back to the decentralization, if it's an asset class, at the end of the day, and it's paired to a fiat, then those with the most fiat are going to wind up controlling the majority of it, because unless the structure of economics as a whole changes, all things that become an asset will eventually become controlled by those with the most fiat, right? It's the nature of the way capitalism and this economy is built. So, decentralization, it's not, in my opinion, actually decentralized if it is paired to a fiat, because eventually the control will wiggle its way in, right?
Right. Kind of has to. I mean,
totally
that's
makes
what
sense.
makes the world go round. Sorry, go ahead, Wildling.
And I was saying it totally makes sense.
Exactly, and it does. And we got to start looking at, because that's the thing people love to put out there. It's decentralized. That's great. But is it really? We talk about finances. Well, is it really decentralized? I mean, the people with the most money have the most control, and if you get enough of them all going the same direction, then kind of eliminates the whole decentralized concept. I mean, everybody who's got it is going that way. Yeah, ETH hasn't been decentralized for a while. Agreed. And all these things are going that way. Yet we seem to think that decentralization gives us anonymity, gives us a lot of these things. Yet we just had the Coinbase hack, which, all of our stuff got compromised, which is a mess, and there's been several others. Yeah, yet no one seems to care. Exactly. Right. They keep preaching it. Oh, it's decentralized. No, it's not, guys. It's not. But at the same time, in our day-to-day lives, most things we interact with, decentralization just simply doesn't work. So why would it work in finance when it doesn't work in anything else?
I think that unless things had gotten as rigid as they are now with regulation, I don't think we would have fought it as much. And I don't think we would have been like, oh, decentralize everything. Because they're almost like, kind of like a little kid. You get too rigid and they start rebelling. And yeah, tell them no, and they want to do it. And so we've had so much, no, you can't do whatever, that finally we're like, forget you, we're gonna do it anyway. And they haven't laid any good groundwork for that rebellion and for that earning of freedom. I think in general, our society needs the control, because without that control, we have people going crazy with their credit cards, getting into huge amounts of debt. Even with control, we've got that. Could you imagine if there was no control?
See, here's the thing,
Could you
though.
even imagine?
Here's the thing, though. The reason why people react with impulsivity and do things like that, and it is literally a direct root of living in late stage capitalism. Because when you keep someone constantly worried and stressed about basic needs like shelter, food, crap, my car broke down, am I going to be able to afford to like pay if my kid breaks their leg, it's getting ridiculous here. The three largest PBMs, it's the like health, see, they own
Regulation is now happening.
70% of the pharmacies.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, but what I'm getting at is if people don't have safety, if they don't have like that security, they're always going to give in to the impulses that feed quick dopamine, that make the brain say, okay, I feel good for a minute because I'm constantly in fight or flight mode, because I'm constantly stressing about everything that I got to worry about, because everything's getting so expensive, and that is what keeps 78% of the population living well under what adjusted for inflation would be correct minimum wage. Did you know minimum wage when it was back when it was like $2 an hour, I think it was like $2.58 or something like that, 1968. If you adjust it to today's money, it would be $42.58 an hour. Okay, so think about that. Everything has gotten $42 an hour ish more expensive, but you haven't. Like, your earnings haven't. But that's because
it's freaking insane.
Infinite money, wealth pools up at the top, right? Trickle down economics don't work if the cup at the top has an infinite depth.
Yeah, there's no overflow mechanism, there's no overflow.
Right.
Which makes everybody at the bottom just suffer more and more every day. Mm-hmm. And so we try to buy into these ideas of decentralization gives us power, gives us freedom. Does it really? I mean, that's really the question, is, are we actually still slaves to the system and we're just buying into the hype? I mean, what do you guys think?
Well,
and Crow walks away.
Oh, Crow has a cat.
Astro's got a baby.
Kitty.
Oh my God, they're getting big.
What's that one's name?
This one is shithead number 1.
His name is now Oreo.
Oreo.
No, they're collectively the Oreos. There's 3 that are
Okay.
Oreos, and there's 1 that's Whitey. No, you know better.
Yeah, there's a whole package of Oreos.
What is wrong with you biting the cat?
And there's 2 of them, Si, that if you put their faces next to each other, they actually make an M with their markings.
That's
Oh, do you have
adorable.
the M&Ms? You've got the
Help.
M&Ms. Except you got yeah. The way their faces were, they make M's.
They
Yeah,
have gotten big.
they
Yeah,
have
they weren't
gotten
nearly
big.
that big last time we were there. Hadn't been that long either.
Oh god.
Keep spacing them out. There's
Oh.
Mama.
Is that what? Is that?
That's Mama.
Oh,
Ash. Her name is
Oh.
That's
Ash.
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 Stay out of my office.
And Victor. So the kitties are demonstrating exactly how decentralization goes in real life. Obviously, it's not working, is it?
No, I kept hearing this little, like, I have a little thing on my doorknob, and I just kept hearing moving. And moving. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I turn around, they're both on my, I have a little tote back there, and they're just sitting there on the tote. Just, I'm like,
Getting that dopamine hit.
more like they're high. did I tell you guys about that? So,
No.
Ray got one of the cardboard things when we got Ash originally. And it was supposed to be like a scratching post for her.
Mhm.
She wouldn't play with it. So Ray, trying to get her to play with it, sprayed the ever-living crap out of it with catnip.
Oh no.
And
So you got
Ash-
cat stoned. Huh.
and Ash didn't play with it still. So they sat there in the living room, she didn't play with it. And we're like, hopefully she'll eventually play with it. Then she had kids. And then her kids eventually found the drug-infested piece of cardboard.
And this is why we can't have nice things.
I thought she got the relaxing catnip. No, she got the exciting catnip. So I don't know if there's any more on there, but yeah, every once in a while I'll see them paw on it, and then they'll just start running around the house. I'm like, yeah, I think there's still some in there.
Yeah.
I found it.
You know, it's interesting how we went to catnip because it's actually very fitting for what we do in life. I mean, just like we're talking about, like you're talking about that dopamine hit. And, you know, we're always going against rules. We're rebelling. We're causing chaos. All these things. But at the same time, we feel so out of control. Even though it's like, oh, look, you have control over your life. You have freedom of choice. It's like, no, we really don't. You know, we're held back so tight from everybody else's late stage capitalism. We have no control. Yet, I think we're all trying to find it. So I'm curious. Now, being in Idaho, I can tell you that Idaho is a non-legal marijuana state. But every state around us is. And so more states across the country are going that way. Do you think this is actually programmed into the government, into things like that, to help control the people? What do you guys think?
Well, I think they're just capturing the monetization aspect of it.
Mhm.
You know, the pilot program in Colorado did very, very well. They received excess in state funding as a result and started a lot of public work improvements, and it was overall great for their economy. So, you know, other states see that. It's being in use, you know, a lot of medical aspects for it as well. Is something else that people have been using a lot for. So at the end of the day, if the money's flowing, why not take a slice of it, right? The only reason why they made it illegal in the first place and made it a felony is because it reduces your ability to vote if you have a felony, right? But that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother side conversation for another time, perhaps. But
that sounds like a deep rabbit hole there. And I've often wondered because we talk about all these things as far as whether it's decentralization, we talk about control, the freedom of rights of voting, and all this, and they say a decentralized government. It's like, oh yeah, you have your representative, you have this, you have that, but do you really? I mean, in the end, don't they all get together in a boardroom, sit back, have drinks or whatever, and they decide what's going to happen next? I mean, do we really have a say in it?
Not as of 2010.
What happened in 2010?
So, Citizens United was a court case. So actually, give me 1 second, and I will have a link dropped in the private chat for you. If you haven't seen it, if you have HBO, you can go watch it. It is a series called The Dark Money Game. And a gentleman named Alex Gibney and a whole team of researchers spent a long time doing deep diving, like hidden wire cameras on themselves and things like that, listening into all sorts of stuff, to basically discover and uncover all of this. And they turned it into a 2-part film, right? The first part is about corruption that had occurred within Ohio, right? The second part is about corruption as a whole within our government. And it's why, some of you may have heard me before jokingly scoff at the idea that votes even matter, right? Because the deck was already stacked. They made it legal for corporations to spend an unlimited amount of funds on pushing their political agendas for whatever reason it may be, right? And they made it possible by basically saying that, well, corporations are technically classified as people, so they should have a vote too, and a person is allowed to contribute however much money they want, so we should be allowed to contribute however much money we want, right? But at the end of the day, you need to be aware of this kind of thing, right? So check it out or don't, but I hope you do, because it's kind of important.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And that's kind of what inspired tonight's topic. I know it's not the most exciting, it's not the most fun, but at the same time, it's one of the most real aspects, is these illusions of decentralization, these illusions of control, these illusions that our opinion actually matters, that we can really make a difference on a grand scale. And unless you're backing it with big dollars or big corporations, then you can't. Or can you? Am I wrong there?
No, you're not wrong at all. Because at the end of the day, the money is what matters, right? The current administration bought the presidency with $8 billion. They bought Twitter, right? It's pushing out the narrative. And the more you scream, the louder you are, the more people hear you, right? And we live in an attention-based economy. I've said that before. It's all about attention. So the more money they throw at it, the more attention they can buy. They get to do and put who they want where they want them at the end of the day.
And it's funny, the attention doesn't even have to be good. That's the sad part, is in today's society, people feed on bad intention, bad stories, all the drama. They feed on that. It's like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Yeah, bad attention in a lot of ways is better than good attention. The drama gets more attention than everyday good stuff.
Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, I clicked on the right thing now. Which one?
And I'll have you know that Arthur Schwartz, an advisor to Donald Jr., downplayed his influence in the White House, but declined to respond in greater detail when asked whether his activities create ethical problems. And so he sent a text that said, "Write your ridiculous story. Literally no one cares. We don't actually give a fuck."
Oh my God, really? Uh, wow. That just blows the mind, doesn't it?
That's insane.
And that's all I really have to say about that.
That's fair. Okay. No, I'm glad you shared that. And I'll share this in the comments here, guys, so you can go out and read the post yourselves. And, you know, and it goes full circle where, you know, we want freedoms. We want decentralization. We want control. We want to have some aspect or even an illusion of control. But it seems like it's being taken from us left and right, or we're sacrificing it. Even worse, most of us are just giving it away. How do we get it back? Or can we? What do you think, Crow?
I don't really have an opinion about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Because this is public. And it is forever.
No.
And it is the internet.
No, I've never been afraid to speak my mind. It's too political for me. All this is too political for me. I don't dip my hand in the jars because I really don't care. It's not a game I want to play.
Okay, so let's take it into a smaller scale. Let's take it into your work scale. You and I used to work in the same place, and we had several people that were very intelligent, several people that really weren't, and they would screw up tightening a screw. We know that. But the people like you and I, when we would debate and things like that, it's kind of the same thing, but on a smaller scale. At the end of the day, whose decision actually matters? Who do we follow? Is it the person who has the advanced education, the person who's right? I mean, who gets to make that choice?
At the time, it was you. Whether I was right or wrong, it was you. We disagreed and we fought. But if I couldn't convince you that my way was right, it was you.
But let me ask you, did you feel like you had a valid say in it where you could argue, debate, you could try to prove your point and I could change my mind?
Yeah, there was always the opportunity to try.
Okay. So do you feel that exists on a grander scale when you start hitting, whether it's finances, it's government, it's wages, whatever it is,
Nope.
Different things in the world? Do you feel that you have that power in any way?
I don't.
He prefers
I'm not in that world, so.
Yeah, he prefers to worry about his, immediate sphere of influence. The things that affect him and his life directly, and I can understand it.
Things that I can control. That's
There you go.
I try to live my life with worry about what I can fix and change and everything that. I try not to worry about the things that I can't control. Because, as we just said earlier, there's a lot of times people are stressing about things that they just can't control, and that's how they worry about their lives every single day. Oh, worry about this, worry about that. And I just try to take all that and just say, nope, I'm not even going to worry about it. Because I can't control it, so why even give it a second thought?
It's where addiction and stress-induced heart attacks and all that come in.
I mean, if you want to get really technical, I could have a blood clot somewhere in my bloodstream and I could just drop over dead right now. But I don't worry about that.
Stress-induced.
Well, yeah, but my house could burn down right now. So many bad things could happen,
Right.
But why let it bother me on the day-to-day life? I can't control it, so why try to affect it? That's kind of how I live my life every single day. Try to.
Trying to keep the inner peace. I get it.
Exactly. And
Sometimes you have
that's
to.
what I
or
really
you
want to get
go
out of you.
Freaking crazy.
Do what?
I said sometimes you just have to go for the inner peace. That's why a lot of times we don't watch the news, we don't read newspapers, anything like that, because there's so much propaganda and so much drama out there. If we got so sucked into all that, our personal stuff would go by the wayside. And I've seen it happen. But, we take care of what's at home. And then the ripple effect, maybe that will do some good in the long run. Maybe. On a very small scale.
And that's kind of what I want to get out of there, Crow, because I think you've got a very wise approach to this. I see too many people out there freaking out and screaming at the top of the lungs like, oh my God, the sky is falling, or this person's great, that person's great. and really trying to change everybody's mind to their line of thinking. Well, when you get 1,000 people doing that and all of them think something different, it just creates total chaos. Versus taking care of their family, taking care of themselves, their inner circle of life, finding peace within that world, and then try to share that for those who want to go on that journey, instead of trying to manipulate other people around them to have the same mindset. I was waiting for a response, but okay.
I was waiting to see if anyone else said anything. I saw Cyril unmuted, so it usually means he's gonna say something.
Oh no, I was waiting. I was waiting for, because it looked like you two were talking about it, so I was just waiting for a Crow to respond since you were asking directly.
We were all waiting for someone else to say something. How funny is that?
Right? And it's a very
we're dysfunctional.
deep kind of topic and taking a minute to think.
Yeah, that can be difficult as well, especially at the end of a week when your brain is tired, it's part of the whole preserving the little bits of peace where you can. But, at the end of the day, I think people tend to be pretty loud in a lot of instances where they shouldn't be, and not loud enough in instances where they should, right? Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize I was muted. And you're right. And that's the thing is, we get so focused on certain aspects, where the concept of decentralization or government or finance, but a lot of us are neglecting just our day-to-day mindset. And the sad part is, some individuals have a very unique way of looking at things, unique compared to everyone else. And when they try to share that knowledge, a lot of them just like, well, that doesn't make any sense, so I'm just not even going to try. And, I got to tell you, I had that experience with Wild Angel years ago when we first got together about music. For her, it was very much static. It was noise. She couldn't hear the message, the meaning of the things that I did. And, being wired a little bit differently, to see things a little bit different than the masses do, is very challenging. Sai, you and I were talking about this earlier today. And I know me personally, I grew up always being alienated because I saw everything just a little bit different. And whatever it is, if you're seeing things a little different, man, be proud of it, because it is a gift. It's not a curse. It may seem like it. But more, I kind of feel pity for a lot of people that can't see and feel those types of things.
And, talking about, sorry, again, a little shout out to Sai here. I just released a new Sonic Siren. Thank you. This is freaking amazing. If you get a chance to listen to this, absolutely. And I love that you actually put the lyrics on the screen. I have hearing issues, and so sometimes I can't differentiate between words, and that makes it so I lose meaning. And now that Serenity has taught me, there is meaning to music. It's not just background.
Oh, yeah.
Having the lyrics on the screen made a world of difference for me, because I'll just zone out on the music and not catch the words. But when I can watch them too, it's great. But this is, I mean, you guys with the neurodivergence and, whatever aspect that is, or it manifests as, this song is a way for the masses to really get an idea. I mean, next to my, somebody whose autism is like a Mac living in a Windows world. People understand that. But this is another way to make it that much clearer. Well, this is epic. So, yay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And yeah, brother, this one hit home. It's it's challenging. And everyone who's watching this, everyone up there here on stage, we all see the world a little bit differently. And there's no right or wrong. The biggest thing is, if you do see something different, cherish that and realize that that's a gift. It's not a curse. Although others may resent you for it, they may shun you for it. I can tell you firsthand that I have been one of those who've been shunned for a lot of the things that I saw or I believed. But that's okay. Eventually, hopefully, you can find that peace, that tranquility in being unique, and realize that that's a special gift. And so, Sai, man, you absolutely hit the nail on the head with the song. It's absolutely beautiful.
Well, thank you. And just as we go through life, just try to remember, we're all listening to the same song. We're just tuned into a different station,
Exactly. And so I want to do this on the going out because I'm going to cut this one a little bit short tonight, guys. It's kind of quiet in the chat. People are enjoying their weekend or their long weekend stuff, and they're just enjoying the nice weather because, of course, it's early summer, late spring, whatever it is.
Well, a lot of people are on vacation for Memorial Day, right? This is the Friday before. This is where people, they cut out of work early, they pack up, they hit the road, they get to their destination late at night, and then they enjoy an extended weekend, right? So,
Perfect.
Totally understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to do the same here, guys, because I want you to enjoy your weekend. But the biggest thing is I want to say thank you. Thank you for just being here. Thank you for being part of this adventure because we never know what's going to happen when we show up. And we're just blessed to have you with us. So, Sai, Wild Angel Crow, guys, thank you so much for always being here. I love you, and I'll let you guys take us out here tonight.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll go clockwise. That sounds perfect. All right, cool. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, and don't go messing with fireworks. That's how accidents happen. You gotta think about that sort of thing. Okay. Use napalm instead. I kid.
That's how you lose your hair. See? This is what happens when fireworks go wrong.
Yeah, perfect example right there. So don't mess with that either. But I'll, stay safe and take care. See y'all next time.
I want to give a shout out to all of the service members, all of those who have lost their lives fighting for what this country supposedly stands for. And that has changed over the years, but there are so many people that have lost their lives fighting for this country. This is Memorial Day. Hi, Alpha, you're fired. But it's Memorial Day, and the heart of Memorial Day is remembering those who have given it all fighting for our country. Please. I know VFWs are out doing their little change in, and you get a little poppy. Throw some change in a jar, put a couple of flags out, give some honor to those who've given it all. So that's kind of my shout out. So it's kind of near and dear to my heart. But overall, it's a great week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the long weekend. Spend it with some family. Touch some grass. Love y'all. See you next week.
I guess I'll go, even though maybe we should go zigzag or square, pattern, diamond maybe. I don't know. Don't forget,
we'll work on that.
Always go clockwise. Never witter shins. Everything goes bad when you go witter shins. Have a good one. Everyone's out there having a long weekend. Be safe. Be smart. There are definitely idiots out there, and everyone knows who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might know somebody like that who seems to forget how to read a clock. We don't know who that would be, would we, Alpha?
Hello and goodbye to the boss.
Everything okay, buddy?
Did you fall asleep?
I did fall asleep. This is why I don't fall asleep. I don't take naps because if I do, it ends up being like 5 hours later. I'm like, what year am I? What year am I? I woke up now. I was like, what? Wait. What's the time I check my phone? I'm like, oh my goodness. It could have been worse.
You got your mic going backwards.
You totally got it behind your head.
No. I don't use this one. I use this one. So
right.
Fine.
Okay, good. It just looks funnier than hell. Oh my god. Yep, he just woke up.
Most people have sitting straight up, not like a fishtail going behind. Like, guys, look at my streak.
Yes, freshly woken up is not It's not very
There's
social.
alarm clocks, there's significant others, there's moms, there's dads, there's so many ways you can wake yourself up and take a nap. Hey, I'm gonna go take a nap no matter what. Wake me up at this time, because if I'm not awake, I'm gonna get made ridiculed on live stream in front of potentially thousands of people. So please wake me up on this time.
And I'll never live it down because that asshole Serenity will keep bringing it up for the next 6 weeks solid, guaranteed. He's a dick that way.
Oh yeah.
The problem with that is everyone else is asleep because it's like middle of the night.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
true.
hey, Serenity.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time that Alpha showed up like right as we were closing out the stream?
Yeah, I do. That was like the most epic ever. It's like we've been going the whole time. We talked about it. I was like, yeah, Alpha's supposed to be here. I was supposed to be here. And then just as we're saying good night, everybody, have a great weekend, I was like, good morning, guys. How you doing? I remember that. That was awesome.
Alpha was late.
I was early.
5:23, 25.
Oh, now it's on
There
the
we
calendar.
Oh no!
Gonna put it
Now it's
right
official.
here, and
Oh,
I can't
God.
forget about it.
Just lose that paper. Oh god damn it! Are you gonna lose it then?
Yeah, it's official now. So Alpha, yeah, you're just catching us at the closing, buddy. So, what piece of wisdom would you like to share with us, short of get yourself a damn alarm clock, to make sure everybody stays safe this weekend?
Oh, damn.
It's a holiday in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah, I think
It's
I've
a
seen
long
something
weekend. It's
about that.
Memorial weekend. Figured I'd orient him to our timeline.
That's fair.
I don't know. I suppose don't go outside. That's the best way to stay safe.
Memorial weekend, just for perspective, is like the one holiday of the year where almost everyone goes camping.
Or fishing,
But
or
camping
boating,
is
or
dangerous, isn't it? See, that makes sense.
apparently so
And then
is sleeping, isn't it, Alpha?
And then they play with fireworks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This
That's
is
what's good.
getting more and more dangerous.
Don't
After
worry.
they've been drinking most of the time.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was napalm after the drinking. It was fireworks when we were sober. I am all confused
Right.
now.
This sounds
There
like
you go. Yeah.
a very, very safe holiday. Yes, very safe.
Yep.
Okay.
It is.
Just play with the fireworks responsibly. There we go. I think that's the best I can do.
That's pretty good. So, everybody, I wish you a happy Memorial Day. We love you, and we'll catch you next week. Stay safe out there. Bye, guys.
Bye.